Good morning, my Teaserking family. I hope everybody's well and has a nice day. Good luck to everybody today. I've got 3 locks going. A lot of plays today, a lot of good ones. Yesterday, I did play the Hawaii UNLV over, and I didn't get there. The theory was right. They both score a lot, but I don't know what happened for the game. We'll have to see. Let's take a look at gold. So gold ended yesterday at 40.65. You can see how ridiculous the COMEX is, and silver 50. So we're hanging in there. This should be much higher. 40.65. I mean, this is a joke. Where do you want it? 40.30 or 40.97 or what's the target, fellas? They don't even know. They're just a bunch of freaking idiots on COMEX, not just clueless to what's going on. So real quickly, I'm watching this finance guy. I was watching Michael Peno, and it's clear he's clueless. He doesn't know what inflation is. How do you a finance person and not know what inflation is? And then he runs these little models. As long as I have this data and that data, I have a model. That'd be like me giving you a teaser trend, but oh wait, yeah, the quarterback's out, so the trend's meaningless because the trend is not with this quarterback. Sort of like the Giants today or tomorrow. You have Jameson Winston. Well, he's played in one game. What kind of trend can I give you? The variables, who knows? And that's the problem. The variables, who knows? In the economy, he's not including bricks or inflation because he doesn't even know what it is. Then I'm watching the General or Colonel McGregor. I was just watching this morning, and they talk about the U.S. collapsing. And I've explained this several times, but we'll do it again because I hate when people say that and then they don't explain it, right? So what we have in our system is a medium of exchange. We go to work, we get paid in this, we go buy things. That's how the economy works. That's how a market determines how much you pay for it. Like gold right now, there's no market for physical gold. They're just running it with options, which is just bullshit. So this is collapsing the dollar, but it doesn't mean that our economy should crash or anything bad should happen. The solution's simple. Come out with a new dollar, hopefully backed by gold, but if it isn't, it at least holds it for a while. And it ain't Bitcoin or it ain't stable coin. Those aren't the answer. Those aren't new currencies because they're both backed by the dollar. People think Bitcoin has its own price. Well, when the dollar fails, Bitcoin will be priced in Bitcoin. Really? And what's Bitcoin worth? Oh, nothing, because it's not even real and it's not backed by anything. Gold's gold. It doesn't need to be backed by anything. So it's me running this country. We come out with a new dollar. No collapse, no inflation, because my dollar's backed by gold. I got the printing press, so I can Rumpelstiltskin a whole shitload of gold, 20, 30,000 tons of it, like China's doing. And then fuck the dollar because it's worthless anyway. And then that. So they try to scam you into believing the inflation's 2 or 3%, which is cost, which is prices, but it's not. It's the money supply. So all you need to do is get rid of the dollar and replace it with a gold-backed dollar. Something with value, silver-backed dollar. I don't care. Something with money, something with value. Metal cards. I don't. Rolexes. I mean, it doesn't. Just a hard asset that's real. unlimited. So if you back it by gold, then nothing happens to the economy. We don't lay off the police force. We still have everybody just switching their dollar from bullshit monopoly money to real dollars backed by gold, aka what BRICS is doing, Russia, China. They're smart enough to figure it out, and we're not. It's pretty scary, right? So, everybody's so worried, and the solution is so simple because the whole game is we get paid in whatever the medium of exchange is, and we use it to spend. Well, if you kill the medium of exchange, so you can't even go to work because you're not going to work for free. So the common denominator here is just come out with a new currency and backed by gold, like 90% of the world's doing with BRICS. So people just can't think fifth dimensionally like us. I mean, it's very simple. New currency, because that's the medium of the whole key is the medium of exchange. Because if the money's worthless, you're not working, and if you're not working, you can't spend. I had this argument about AI the other day in the hot tub. And again, saying, well, AI, the problem with AI is that if you all go to AI, you don't pay them. So the presidents or CEOs think, oh, this is a good thing. I don't have to pay my employees. Okay, who's going to buy your product? If it's a product or a service, who's going to buy it? Who's going to pay for it? Nobody. You're going to be out of business. The same as you're laying off the employees for AI. So like in Vegas, they're getting rid of the dealers. So my friend's saying, well, they don't take vacations. They don't get sick. Oh, they don't get sick. Really? You ever seen a computer malfunction? Have you ever seen it go on the blitz? And then you got to call in a programmer to fix it. They do go on vacations. They do get sick, and there's no demand to gamble with AI. Why would I want to gamble with something I know is fixed? Right? You're going to play blackjack with AI. You know you're going to lose. Or I don't know about roulette. I suppose you could play with that. And then baccarat, I suppose you could play whatever is it, unless they've programmed it in. If the guy bet bank, you come up player, which would be a concern for me. So yeah, you got big problems. We want to go to live dealers in Vegas. That's why we go to Vegas, the people and the stimulation. So it's just ridiculous. Thinking AI is the answer. I don't have to, keeps my costs down. Does it? You need to hire IT people to make sure your AI is working, and you won't have anybody in your casino because we all want to play with people. I know when I first went to Vegas, and I'm wearing a Caesars t-shirt or sweatshirt, and the dealer comes over, the pit boss comes up to me, and she puts her arms on my shoulder. She liked me, put my arm on her shoulder. She straightened out the shirt. It was great. Oh, AI, yeah. Who's going to come over and do that? Nobody. Yeah. So I want to go deal with, there's no demand to play with AI dealers. There's no demand to drive electric vehicles. So again, you're dealing in a market that doesn't exist. It's not believable. It's not wanted. You're again doing that. Let me just see what Big D wanted. Anyway, so you've got to do things people want. If I wasn't here, if I had a guest on, would anybody watch it? No, because you're here to watch me. You either like me or you don't like me. But if you like me, you're here to watch me and learn about gold and inflation and football and the money supply and what's the truth. That's why you come here. That's why I give it to you. But we both enjoy it. I enjoy talking about it. It's real hard to talk about it. Like in the sauna with strangers, you got to talk to people who enjoy this and who want to learn from it. So I try to keep it as a class. I try to teach you, like I just did. All we need is gold, and the money supply is fine. Look at all the hair I've got. Oh my god. It's I was with Alyssa the other day, and she says, "God, you got so much hair." Just a second. Anyway, so that's the key to it. There's a problem. There's always a solution for. If we have a system of money and you fuck the money up, it's the system's fine. It's you need new money. It's as simple as that. But anyway, so the AI thing, that's bad. Again, nobody wants it. So this is the problem. CFOs or CEOs look at cost cutting, cost cutting, cost cutting instead of increasing what does the market want at what price, and I can make more money by selling more goods or different goods or whatever, because the market's always changing, right? In the 70s you didn't have computers and cell phones. Oh, now we came out with computers and cell phones, so people made money selling computers and cell phones because that was demanded. Now what's next? AI ain't a product that anybody wants. People think that. I was talking to a guy in the sauna, and he's like a programmer for AI. I said, "You should quit your job. You're the problem. Stop." I said, "You should put some bugs in the system so it doesn't work. So they have to keep you on to be the programmer." So that's what you have. It's how good is the programmer? And he says it's just like charts and patterns. So they can't really think. So when I look at a football game and I go, well, this quarterback's out or he's playing, or, oh, good, Aaron Rodgers is playing this week, or Burrow, or whatever's happening. The AI can't think like that. He could just look at, well, Cincinnati is a home dog to New England, and da 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 da. They can't possibly understand the quarterback injuries and that. You can say, well, if a quarterback's injured, do this, but you don't know what that is. So AI will never work. I don't know what it does. I know Alex does it, and I have no idea what it does. He asked me, well, do you want to use AI? I says, why? I pull my stuff from Yahoo and I put it in, and I got a VLOOKUP where I bring in the quarterbacks and the yards and the offense and the defense. I don't need AI for that. It's all set up. I programmed it with Excel. I don't need AI. Anyway, that's the thing, but nobody will want it. And then the companies that have it will lay off their employees, which will piss them off. But guess what? They won't spend there. So let's say we're working at Caesar's Palace. Okay, we take a break. Maybe my ex or my ex, maybe my wife or my girlfriend comes to meet me, and she goes and has a bite to eat and goes shopping, and maybe she plays slot machines. Although my girl will never play slot. I'll teach her poker first. So I mean, just by me working there, and then guess what? I take a break. I eat. I shop. I'm going to gamble. I'm going to bet the football game. So by taking me out, you lose my family and you lose me. And I'm not going to come back if you lay me off for AI. I'm going to tell you to fuck off. So that's really the whole issue here is they don't see all the peripheral that they're losing. And if the whole market were to go AI, we wouldn't have an economy, and all the rich people who are saving money by having AI will also be broke because there won't be anybody to buy their products. The market works because we go to work, get paid, and spend the money. If you supplant us with AI or robots, or if you do that, you also kill the people buying from you. It's a two-way street. I get paid and then I buy from you. Well, if you take me out of the picture, there's just AI robots running around like Terminator, and then they don't get paid and they're not going to spend, and they'll probably blow up your building. And that's the problem. So if you have no buyers in the market, you have no market. Anyway, the other thing is about gold. Again, your get out of jail free card is gold because stock market's about to crash. The housing market's about to crash. Bonds aren't worth anything. And what are you going to get into real estate trusts? Because the real estate market's dead. The banks will start collapsing. So you're going to have a trouble getting money. You're going to have a trouble with, you're going to wake up one day and, I got 500,000 in the stock market. Oops, it just crashed. You got to worry about that. In gold and silver, we don't have to worry about that. If you're in Bitcoin, you got to worry about it. I saw Bitcoin yesterday. It was 85,000. I thought it was 120 going to 500,000, going to 1 million. No, it's 85 going to 50, going to 25. People are realizing it's fake and it's not has any value, and you need gold and silver to have the value. That's the point. So when me and you go to bed and we wake up, I'm not gonna, gold, I just showed you gold's 40, 65. I'm not worried about gold zero. That's impossible because BRICS keeps buying it because they understand gold. So as long as we have BRICS, we're not worried about the price of gold. And Madoff and JP Morgan can try to do what they want, shorting it. I think they're shorting it because they're trying to get out of it. So they were so stupid that they read the chart. And I was watching that cowboy guy that I hate, and he goes, "Yeah, the gold was overbought." Click, negative, fuck you, you're an idiot. This is why I can't listen to these guys. So I'm getting like nobody I can listen to except for Egon, a little Mark McGuire, or a little Alligator, a little Mark McGuire, but not a lot. They just don't get it. Inflation is not 2%, and gold is not a stock. Is not overvalued. What the fuck is this guy saying? Oh, it's overbought. It went up so high. It needs to come down. No. It's gold. It's not a stock. The value is up here and the price is here. So no, until it gets to here, it's not overbought. It's not a stock. Good God, these people are stupid. This is the life I lead. When you know too much, it's really a thing. All right, we'll come back to that. Let's go to football. So yesterday I played Vegas and Hawaii over, and it was over. It was 60 something. It was 64. I'm over 58, and they play a 48. 38-10. Look at NC State beat Florida State. I got to write that one down. Was that a surprise? No, because Florida State stinks. The Hawaii game was a surprise. Hawaii scores 30 points a game. Vegas has a 30 defense. Now what I'd like to do is go in and then so Vegas keeps their hopes alive in the Mountain West. Hawaii doesn't score. 15 of 24, 163 yards, one touchdown, one pick. They didn't run. The question is where was this defense the whole year? Because they have a 31 defense, Vegas. Let's see what happened here. So I'm going to go through the drives. Field goal, Hawaii touchdown, Vegas touchdown, Hawaii punt, touchdown. There we go. Hawaii throws an interception at the Hawaii 33. Okay, well, that's good for the over. Vegas scores, then Hawaii punts, then Vegas punts, then Hawaii field goal. So we're 24-10 at half. Hawaii punt, Vegas fumbles, 2nd and 5. Okay, nothing there. But then Hawaii punts again. Then Vegas touchdown, then Hawaii turnover downs. 4th and 1 at the Hawaii 27. Jesus Christ. So Vegas gets a touchdown. Then Hawaii turnover on downs. 4th and 13 at the 30. So there's no doing anything. And then Vegas, 4th and 5 at the Hawaii 23, of course, goes for it instead of kicking a field goal with the lead. Not that that mattered. So what happened to Hawaii's offense is unexplainable. No running. And then really Vegas has the theory is Vegas has a 31 defense, so they shouldn't be doing this. That's why we bet the over was based on their defense. All right. So free play today. Air Force, New Mexico under. Again, Air Force is playing low scoring games. New Mexico, decent defense. Air Force has a 20 defense the last 4 games. So we'll see. Now, this is the theory, right? We're looking at the defense. If it's a high defense, we assume a lot of points, which has happened most of the games, as in the Hawaii-Vegas game. So it didn't yesterday, but that's the realization of gambling and probability and prediction. It's most of the time, not 100%. So I'm dealing with the best strategy to figure out what the hell. I never thought Vegas was favored by 3. They won by 28. You couldn't see that coming, right? I thought about taking Hawaii in 9, so I was dead either way. Free pick Air Force under 57, so under 63 at Air Force. And the other free pick is Iowa 16.5 to Michigan State, lay 10.5. It's their senior day. Michigan State's got the backup quarterback in. Iowa, a very strong defense, played Oregon and SC, very tough. This is their last home game, senior day, everybody in the hospital, da-da-da-da-da. And I just see them just crushing. I have a really good feel on this. This is where the feel comes in. I didn't have that strong of a feel, but I played the game yesterday. I had a little feel. Iowa, I got a big feel for. So Iowa, I got 33-0 Iowa. Free play in the NFL, I told you would be Detroit. If Winston was the quarterback, he's the quarterback. Free play. Now, I had played Houston with Detroit Thursday night, figuring even if it was Dart, Detroit off of a loss has to win. We'll see. And then we're getting Winston, so it's even better. I know the spread's up to 12, but keep it under 7. So you got 3 free plays. Happy Thanksgiving. I love the set in college football today. I got so many games, I got this one. I haven't played this one yet. I got to play that one. So I am all over it today. and pretty good. So this week so far, Ohio beats UMass, the Z team. Central Michigan beats Kent State, the Z team. Um, and then we lost on that, but both bet against the Z, which is good. It's a good week. All right. Pribula, the quarterback from Missouri, is playing. I don't know how you can play with a dislocated ankle. I'm sure he'll be shot up. I don't really get it. Does that scare me? No, because we're betting. We like the Oklahoma defense. I don't think they'll be flat today. Missouri's okay, but even if the guy was 100% healthy, I'd still like Oklahoma. They beat fucking Bama. They got the loss to Texas. They got some other loss to Ole Miss. I don't see them losing at home. I think they're at Kansas next week. So this is like senior day. And senior day is very important. The team's pumped. I believe. I don't know if it's Notre Dame. I think it's Notre Dame senior day. So that's one emotional element that obviously isn't in the pros that we can pick up on. All right, let's go through the line. SMU 4.5, 49.5, up from 2.5. People betting SMU, good boys. 49.5, down from 51.5. So the unders and SMU bet here. Ohio State 30.5, 53.5. This is down from 55.5. My guess is the receivers are not playing. Two Ohio State stars scratch from home. Jeremiah Smith is not playing. And Colonel Tate. So they're both apparently out. Yeah, Ohio State's top playmakers out. So now you're on to the backups, but you missed Smith. Now they're both sitting out for the Michigan game. Now, do you now want to bet the under because you've got the best receivers out? You still got the 7 defense. That makes it interesting. All of a sudden, maybe the under is a play. Again, we might add that. I don't know. I haven't thought about it, but you can see the receivers are out when the line goes down, right? So the line goes from 32 to 30.5, and the total goes down. Without reading what I just read, I knew they were out because I knew they were questionable because we read it earlier in the week. And then judging by that. So when you see line movements like that, and there's usually injuries behind it. Now, do you overreact to the injury is the question. Rutgers with the 30 defense probably is not going to do a whole lot of stopping anyway. The backups, I'm sure, are very strong. The question is the quarterback having timing. That's the key is he knows where these receivers are. He knows their patterns, where they'll be. Now you get new guys. You don't have timing with the new guys. So maybe they worked on that this week. Anyway. So maybe you bet Ohio State under, but I got a full plate, so I don't think I'll add them, but they'll probably go under because I didn't add them. It's a big number for Ohio State. I don't think Rutgers is going to score all that much anyway. Off the defense, they'll just run more. But anyway, Northwestern 40.5 to Minnesota. Missouri, Oklahoma 5.5 from 7. And Pegula is playing with a dislocated ankle that has had 2 weeks to heal. Do we buy that? Do we smell what he's cooking? Okay, he's out there, but this is football, and against a strong defense in Oklahoma, I'm not buying it. And 42.5. The total didn't change. Oklahoma went down to 5.5. All right. Miami v Tech. Miami is 18.5, up from 17 and 48.5. Miami's number 13. They have to win for a chance to get into the playoff, but they can't win their division. Pitt plays Georgia Tech. They both have one loss in conference. One of them's going to win. One of them's going to lose. So they'll still have one. And Virginia's got one loss. Miami's got two losses in conference. So even if Miami wins, they're still going to be out of the conference. But are they in the playoff? They did beat Notre Dame, so maybe they get in. So the incentive is there for them, and that's what we're looking for. Wake Forest, 17.5, 50.5, down from 52. Army, 10, 45.5. That number hasn't changed. Tulsa WT with the 29. Army is okay this year. They're not, the quarterback's not that good. Iowa State, 455.5 over my Kansas team. Kansas an over team. I love the quarterback, the other Jalen Daniels. He used to be bad. He used to run all the time, couldn't throw, and now he's fixed that, and now he's a good thrower. Iowa State, Rocco Breck's very good. Just kind of a tough year for Iowa State. They started strong, and then they're just not in the category. This is like tease the dog game. They're just not in that Texas Tech, BYU, Utah category. They're just right underneath it, as is Kansas. Georgia, 43.5, 53. I'll call it 50. Well, we'll call it 53. To Charlotte, the Z team. It's tough. You're laying 43. I have a feeling Georgia, I'm going to put down right here, 62-3. That's my prediction on this game, because Georgia's passing the ball more, and they know the backup quarterback had to play last year. I would guarantee you when they're up 42-0 at half and they go into the fourth quarter, they're going to bring in the backup quarterback and he's going to throw the ball. And that's the thing. So that's what you're looking at. So I think Georgia, I just think the way they beat Texas last week, yeah, I just they're at home. They're not going to be flat. They got Georgia Tech next week. So, he'll rest the guys. So that's your concern. It's 43, but I think they'll hit 60. Old D, 10.5, 62.5, down from 12.5. The Georgia Southern people are betting 62. I'm not. This is a tight game. I thought about the over. Old D sometimes doesn't score. They got a 21 defense. I avoided the over here. Georgia Southern, getting 16, 17. They're a strong offensive team. Baylor in Arizona. Here we go. Baylor. Arizona 6.5, 62.5. Baylor's as explosive as you can get. Him and Daggio and Robertson, the best two quarterbacks in college. They will light up Arizona, but Fajita will light up Baylor because they got a 32 defense. So enough said there. Washington State and James Madison. James Madison is 14 and 43.5, up from 42.5. James Madison's a really good team. Washington State stinks, but it's hard to bet James Madison. It's not a conference game. They are 9-1. They're probably trying to get into the playoff as the team of 5, whatever that means. So we'll see. Here's a line on Alabama, 50 and 56.5 to Eastern Illinois. Off the loss, it might not be a bad bet to take Alabama late 50. Missouri State, Kennesaw State. Kennesaw State, 6.5, 50, 54. I don't know. Missouri State's probably not too bad here. It's an even game. It's a tease the dog game, I think. Nevada, Wyoming. We have. I hate when they flip the time and then they move the team because you've already set up the template. Oh, here it is. Wyoming is 6.5, 39.5. That really hasn't moved. It was 41 call it 40. Nevada, the Z team. Wyoming, the under 20 defense. Wyoming should win the game. Mercer and Auburn. Auburn's only 27.5 points over Mercer. Who's Mercer? We have no idea. Division II. Some of the high school teams aren't too bad. Toledo, 28-45.5. We've got Ball State, the Z team, and Toledo, the A team in the MAC. This line, 28-45. Yeah, I mean, Toledo needs the game. Ball State's the Z team. Marshall and App State, I've looked hard and long at this one. Marshall, 4.5, 56.5. Marshall, the over team, 31 defense, but App State's a W with the 30 defense. So I'm almost thinking Marshall, plus 1.5 versus the over. I wanted to go over, but too many App States where they didn't score, but they're at home, and so I'm leaving it alone. Sam Houston, Middle Tennessee, 7, 53.5. They're both Z teams. What do you do? Good luck on that one. New Mexico State, UTEP 3, 44.5. They're both W teams. Good luck there. Liberty and L Tech, Liberty 1.5, 45.5. Now, L Tech was the favorite. Now Liberty's the favorite. I don't know. They're both E teams with 20 defenses, total 45.5. Good luck on that if you're playing it. UConn goes to Florida Atlantic. UConn 6.5, 64.5. Okay. Florida Atlantic, an over team, 34 defense. UConn's a pretty good passing team. Their quarterback's like 22 touchdowns and 1 pick. This guy, Fagnano. And again, they got Jim Mora Jr. as the coach. I'm surprised he's not going to move up and go to Ole Miss. Rumors Lane Kiffin's going to LSU. I think Bobby talked him into that. And then the Ole Miss will need a coach. It's funny, this Lane Kiffin guy, he changes more jobs than me. Tennessee, USC, Alabama, Florida Atlantic, Ole Miss, LSU. Where does the insanity end? Okay, so South Florida, 21.5, 68 to UAB. If I can find them, South Florida. See, they're on the other side of the page. South Florida, 21-68. Okay. South Florida, an A team. Again, they beat Boise and they beat Florida. A 25 defense. UAB over with the 38. The line's 68.5. There's no fucking way I'd go over this. This has got to be an under, but I'm a little scared South Florida might do it for us, might do the over. So it's probably a South Florida play. I don't know. I don't like it over. It's too many points. UAB is not going to give us much. At least I don't think so. Southern Miss, South Alabama. Southern Miss is now 1.5. They were 3. We'll call it 2. And 53.5, 54. Southern Miss B team, they're like 8. They're 7-3 this year. They were 0-12. They were a Z team last year. Now they're 7-3. That's the difference of a coach. You get a good coach in. They're a B team, 25 defense. South Alabama an E with the 28. So pretty even game. The money's going on South Alabama. Don't know why. Southern Miss's quarterback was out, and they had the backup in. I don't know if he's still how bad the quarterback is. Braxton's a very good quarterback, but he didn't play the last couple games. Syracuse and Notre Dame. And Notre Dame 36-50.5. The Pope will be there with Jesus. They'll all be with the leprechaun, and They're going to kill them. Syracuse, a W team with the 31 defense. The quarterback's been out most of the year. They not scoring. And Notre Dame, they need this game. They can't lose, right? Because they have 2 losses. Miami's got 2 losses. Miami beat them. If they lose, Miami goes. Notre Dame doesn't go to the playoff. They must win, and they're at home. You know how they bury teams, and at home they're going to have at least 2 pick sixes, as well as Love scoring his 2 or 3 touchdowns. And I got a feeling this Notre Dame coach is not stopping until they're in the 60s. This is going to be a brutal down. So roll Irish, fighting Irish, whatever they call it. Jacksonville State goes to Florida International, and Jacksonville State, Florida International is now the favorite. 1.5, 56.5. Both over teams, 56, doable. Probably go over 50 there, maybe. Arkansas, Texas 9 and 58.5. Arkansas, an over team, 32 defense. All I can say is they played A&M 41-40. They got killed by Notre Dame. That was also they only scored 13 there. Texas's defense can be passed on, as we saw. Georgia, Vanderbilt, and Old Mississippi State pass on them for over 30 points a game. Texas, they're 7-3. I don't know that they need it. No, because Texas A&M is undefeated, and then Alabama and Georgia only have 1 loss. Texas has 3 losses in conference. They lost to Florida, and they lost to Georgia. So even with the win, they got to hope Alabama and Georgia and somebody, Ole Miss, all lose. Yeah, so they're fighting. I don't know what they're fighting for. Probably depressed after losing to Georgia, but Arkansas, look for them here to show up. Kentucky and Daggio, Vanderbilt 8.5 and 54.5. Kentucky an E team, 23 defense. They don't score much. We've seen Vandy. They're at home. It's sold out. They got Tennessee next week. They are 8-2. They lost to Alabama and they lost to Texas again. But they lose. Well, Alabama beat them pretty good, but they had revenge because Vanderbilt beat Alabama. So they're capable with Daggio. 8.5. Yeah. Let's see. Are they home? Is this their last home game? Is this Daggio's last game? I know they play Tennessee, but I don't know where. So we're going to find that out. Yeah, this is their home. This is their senior day. They're at Tennessee next week. Well, that's pretty crucial. So not that they wouldn't be playing, but that really helps senior day. USC, Oregon 10.5, 59.5. This is a playoff game. We like Maivia. Oregon, okay, they blow out Purdue or somebody, Michigan State by 14. They're not the same team. I don't like that team or the quarterback, and I like Maivia for USC. This is a playoff game. So play it as so. Iowa, that's your free play. 17, 42.5, up from 16.5. 43.5 down to 42.5. Not surprising. Michigan State with their backup quarterback. Iowa off of 2 very good games with Oregon and SC, and look for them to. They're at home. Look out. Go Iowa. Beat State. 33-0 is my score. East Car UTSA. East Car 2.5, 63.5. Up from 61, 63. East Car's the 8 team. Hauser, the quarterback from Total Recall. 22 defense. UTSA an over team with a 30. I liked it over initially, but when I looked at UTSA, they haven't been scoring the way they normally do. And so I laid away from the over in this game. Uh, I think East Car. I think East Car wins, but this will go over because I'm not taking it probably. But normally I love this. This would be an automatic over, probably a lock over, but I'm not. I just UTSA. I see too many low scoring games for them. Okay, Erie Catherine. Hi, Erie Catherine. What's up? Nothing. Just talking football, gold, and everything else we love to talk about. What's up with you, Eric Catherine? Duke NC. Duke 751.5. I'm a little concerned with Belichick stopping Duke's offense, although they don't have an offense. So I laid away. This should be an easy Duke play, but Belichick will have a double zone, triple Lindy, whatever, and do that. Tulane and Temple. Tulane 7.5, 53.5. Tulane. Well, as soon as I find them, of course, they're way up there. They moved them to a 3:45 start. Tulane 7.5, 53.5. Tulane, I guess, is the best one for the group of five in the playoff. I don't think they're that good. I don't think they're better than James Madison. Temple, pretty good team. This isn't as easy as it looks. Avoid Michigan and Maryland. Michigan is 14-46.5. Maryland hasn't been scoring the last 3 or 4 games. They've been just Washington's their quarterback, but he must be hurt or they're figuring him out. Michigan, I think both their running backs are out, so they'll find another running back. Their quarterback can't throw, so I don't know. But they, 17 defense, and they got Ohio State next week. The Bitcoin coin has been dropping bad. Well, first of all, it's not a coin. It's nothing. It's air. So the Bitcoin, yeah, because it's a Ponzi scheme and it's not worth anything and it's not backed by anything. So of course it's dropping because people, when they need money, sell their assets. So anybody who owns Bitcoin starting to realize the dollar's collapsing. So therefore Bitcoin is valued in dollars. And if the dollar's worth zero, Bitcoin's worth zero. So therefore they're probably dumping their Bitcoin and buying gold would be my point. I've never owned Bitcoin because it's not backed by anything. So it's not real. You cannot have food or money digital. It's got to be real. It has to be. Gold, you can't have digital gold. You have to have real gold. All right. Georgia State and Troy. Troy, 9.5, 51.5. Look at Troy dropping to Georgia State. Troy probably wins this game because Georgia State's so bad, but Troy, they don't have that big of an offense to do it. Oak State and UCF. Oak State is where are they? Still here. UCF is 13.5, 47.5, 14-48. Oak State is Z team, 36 defense. UCF, though, is an under team with a 22. They don't score. Yeah, but they're at home, and yeah, they're playing a Z team, so they probably will win. But these are the games I don't like playing against the Z team. I prefer Baylor, Oak State. Kansas State, Utah. Utah, 17.5, 52.5. This is a game that's got me confused. As I say, I like Utah and I like the over because Utah scores a ton of points. Utah, in a must win, they can still get into the Big 12 because they're a game behind BYU, but they lost to them. And Texas Tech's undefeated. So it looks like Texas Tech BYU, but we'll see. But Utah, Kansas State, a 27 defense. Utah is such a good team. The quarterback's so strong, Dampier. TCU, Houston 1.5, 55.5. Down from 3. Let's call it 2. Houston's okay. They're not spectacular. TCU, an over team with the 26 defense. I don't know. South Carolina, Coastal Carolina. Again, be careful of playing Coastal Carolina in this situation. 24, 49.5. Wow, this was 53, 49. Big drop there. So you can't, I know we've been hitting Coastal Carolina the last few weeks. You just ignore this. You can't go up against South Carolina. The Norris Sellers will have a big day, and it's just outclassing them. The defense, they shut out A&M for the first half with Marshall Reed is a big thing. Eric, I might play the 49ers plus 46 against my Georgia Bulldogs today. Well, good luck on that one. Georgia will be in the 60s, I believe. And Charlotte stinks. They're a Z team. They won't. They're going to get shut out. Don't get caught by the points. Just be careful with it. Let's see. Lou Monroe, Texas State, up to 20. Wow. And 58.5. Did I play Texas State? Just a second. Just a second. Yeah, okay. Had to check on something there. Texas State, explosive team. Lou Monroe, a Z team. It's at Texas State. Nebraska, Penn State. Penn State down to 7.5. This was 10, 8.5, 7.5. I don't get it. 45.5. So I don't know. Is Raiola playing today? I mean, I'm just kind of joking, but I thought he broke his leg. No, he's not. It's the other quarterback. So I don't know. I'm not jumping on Nebraska here, but I don't know. Where are we? Okay, Pitt and Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech 2.5 and 60.5. Haynes King against Pitt. This is like a playoff game. They both have one loss in conference, although Georgia Tech's the much better team and at home. Colorado State, Boise. Boise 17 and a half. Where are they? Yeah, Boise, there they are. 17 and a half, 45 and a half. Boise, the B team, they're not as strong as they usually are. Colorado State is the Z team. Boise probably kills them. New Mexico Air Force, this is your other free game. New Mexico, 3.5, 52 and a half. So your free play is under. I gave it to you at 57 and a half, so it's down to 52 and a half. Air Force has changed to an under team, like I said, and let me just check what I'm doing here. Okay. So that's the advantage of playing the games early by playing this on Tuesday or Wednesday. I'm at 57 and a half under 63 and a half. Now the line went to 52 and a half for something we already knew. We know it's going to be a low scoring game. And then therefore, and who knows, maybe there's a weather to it also. I'm not sure. But this is the free play under. So if I give you a free play under like Tuesday or Wednesday, play it Tuesday or Wednesday if you can. Because now the teaser gets you back to 58 and a half where we started at 57 and a half. And once, as soon as I saw it, I knew that was that was our bet this week. North Texas and Rice, North Texas 17 and 56 and a half. North Texas an A team, explosive, 24 defense, Rice a W, 27. Tennessee, Florida. Tennessee is 3.5 and 58 and a half. So look for this game. Should be a good game. Tennessee's much better at home, like the Buffalo Bills. Florida played pretty good against Old Mississippi last week. I think they'll be in the game here. Cal, Stanford, the band. John Elway will be there. Cal, 3.5, 47 and a half, down from 50. So we'll see. Illinois, Wisconsin. Illinois, 8.5, up from 7.5. Wisconsin got their one win against Washington, 41 and a half. Illinois should get the W there. Western Kentucky, LSU. Be careful. LSU starting their backup quarterback. 23 and a half, 50 and a half. They got an interim head coach. Western Kentucky, be careful. Again, stepping up in class. I know you might be tempted to take Western Kentucky. They're a good team, but no, not against LSU. LSU's got one of those running quarterbacks, and he played against Alabama and, fumbled the ball twice, but that's against Alabama. BYU, Cincinnati, BYU, 2.5, 56 and a half. This is up from 53 and a half, so they're betting the game over. BYU must win to win the Big 12 with Texas Tech, and they'll play in the championship game in 2 weeks. So they win the tiebreaker with Utah because they beat them. So BYU, big game. They've been very good on the road this year. Cincinnati was good and then kind of calmed down. And they were good against Kansas and Iowa State, like I said, but not here. Arizona State, Colorado. Arizona State, 746 and a half. Poor Prime. He's crying. He's faking injuries even when he's coaching. 7.5, 746 and a half, down from 49. I wonder if there's weather in Colorado because the Air Force game went down. Colorado is down. Where's Colorado State? I don't think they're at home. Colorado State's at Boise. So, yeah, nothing there. So there might be weather in Colorado. We'll see. 7.5, 46 and a half. But Arizona State doesn't have their quarterback. They had the quarterback. This is a lock. Arizona State laying 1 to Colorado, but the quarterback's injured. Love it. San Jose State, San Diego State, 12 and a half, 50 and a half. They must win for their conference. They've only got one loss in conference. They're 8-2. San Jose State got good and then got bad, and they got a 32 defense. San Diego State, the 18 there with a 12 defense. Utah State, Fresno State. Fresno State is 2.5, 50 and a half. And last but not least, Washington, UCLA at UCLA, Washington, 10 and a half, 51 and a half. I don't know what UCLA team's showing up here, so it's really hard to do that. I want to check a game. Okay, I got them. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I got quite a few games played. Love the college. I have posted my pros after doing some studying. Still waiting on Aaron Rodgers and Joe Burrow, but I don't think it matters. I'm fine with Flacco versus Joe Burrow. I'd rather have Joe Burrow. And then Aaron Rodgers, I'm kind of fine with Rudolph against the Bears, but we hope it's Aaron Rodgers. Now, Aaron Rodgers broke a bone here. He's going to wear a cast. He's ready to go, he said. And they're like, well, you might injure it more, and so that's what they're worried about. But you'd think he'd be in a cast like who was that wrestler? Cowboy Bob Orton, when he'd be with Piper. He had the cast on for like 5 years, and he'd hit people with the cast for his broken arm. That's what it. Just put him in a cast and let him go wrestle. So that's your college today. So I got 1, 2. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 locks in this thing. I could have 6 more. Huge day. You're now getting the team needs to win, like Notre Dame. I didn't lock Notre Dame, but like Notre Dame must win. They're at home. The Pope will be there. Jesus is showing up. You got the leprechaun, and he's ready to do 60 push-ups, and they have to win because if they lose, Miami is in the playoff and they're out. So as long as you have that, and you see what Notre Dame's doing now against Pittsburgh last week, Pitt's a pretty good team. They're not, they're not a terrible team. Here you've got Syracuse, basically a Z team with a 31 defense, a backup quarterback, and just look out. And Notre Dame has to have it. So I give them 2 pick sixes, and Love's going to run for at least 3 touchdowns, and Carr's going to throw for at least 2. So I'm in the 50s, because in college you've got to score and win by a ton. You can't win 10-7 like you could in the pros. You have to win 52-0, because if they were to win 21-20, they would get voted out. Well, you're not that good. You couldn't beat Syracuse. So they have to win, and then go, wow, look at them. They're a really good team. They won by 50. How stupid they are. So, Eric, I assume this is you, Eric, and you got a new name for me, I guess. But yeah, get out of Bitcoin if you're in it. Just buy gold and silver. Keep it simple, and then don't start fucking around betting against Georgia with the 40. And I don't see 46. My Georgia line's 43. So if you can get 46, I'd still, go play the Air Force under. Why make the hardest play on the board? Why do that? Because you're attracted by the number. And the reality of them winning is maybe 2%. Charlotte stinks. They're a Z team. That's why they're 40-point dogs. And Georgia, hot off a 35-10 win at Texas, and they got Georgia Tech next week. I think they'll bring in the backup in the fourth quarter, and I think they'll throw because of what happened last year against Texas. The quarterback gets hurt, and then they had to go to the new quarterback who hadn't played. So I'm guaranteeing against Charlotte, They were going to put up points in the fourth quarter, unlike what Tennessee did last week. So that is your plays. Good luck. Let's see. What the hell's going on in the NFL? I'll be brief on this. Plays are in. Let's look at injuries. Bengals won't activate Joe Burrow for Sunday's game. I'm a bit surprised with that. This is football. We're going to sit him down. Why would you sit him down so he doesn't get hurt? Well, let him go to the grocery store then. What the fuck? All right. So no Joe Burrow. All right. Well, we got Flacco. That's okay. So no Burrow. No, Joe Burrow's injured. I mean, it's turf toe, not a broken ankle. The toe gets bent backwards, so they need surgery to straighten it out, and it heals. And if you fasted like I did, I still haven't eaten since Tuesday night. I am at 72 plus, let's see, 12 is 84 plus 5. I'm on 89 hours without food, just the water and the cinnamon. I am going to eat very soon because I am fucking hungry. But the walls aren't moving. I've been pretty good actually with the tea and the coffee, and the water have been okay for me. Last night I got a little tired, and so I had 2 or 3 glasses of water, and then I'm up peeing during the night 3 or 4 times. But okay. So I slept in a little today because it takes hours away. So I will eat probably about noon very soon. So 90 hours will be at noon. Yeah, 6 hours. Yeah, 48, 96. So 96 if I went till 6 p.m. tonight, but I don't see the need to. I was going to eat last night, and then I said, well, if I don't eat, I gain 12 more hours of not eating. This is the way you think of it, because the point is I got my maid cleaning my body out, right? That's the purpose of it. It removes the bad cells. It eats your fat because your body needs energy, and the fat is stored food. So it goes and starts eating the stored food, which is part of the purpose. Was to I was getting a little heavy that I wanted to get rid of, and then the other part was cleaning. I've been having a little bit too much sweets. Once you've lost your weight, it's hard to not eat the sweets, but the hard part is just, okay, Sunday you can eat it. Thursday's Thanksgiving, I have a piece of pumpkin pie, but I can't have it Friday, Saturday, Sunday. You got to limit it to one, but it gets hard. And then you get bored. I think I got bored of eating, fruit and veggies, not the meat, but yeah, the fruit and veggies. So you get a little bored, and then, you're hungry. I don't want cauliflower. Oh yeah, chocolate chip cookies sound good, or Oreos, or some ice cream. Not that I get the big one. If I get an ice cream, it's just that little cone that they have. Or if I get cookies, it's just 1 or 2. So I'm not eating a lot. And by keeping the fast going until 11 or 12, as you see me eat here, because I haven't eaten since dinner, then that I think keeps me fine. It's just sometimes you get a little too carried away with the sweets. God knows this is stressful enough. Good morning. Who's this? Lex Led. Hi, Lex Led. Welcome to class. I do this live, so please feel free to ask questions and comments, and that's what I'm here for. So think of it as a class, and teacher, I have a question, I don't understand. We talk gold, economics, Austrian, and we talk football and some baseball, but football and how to handicap, what is inflation, and things like that. Everything you want to know. It's Alex. Hi, Alex. I got 6 locks going in college today, Alex. Why do you have a new thing? Same thing with Eric. Why do you guys had to did you have to change your things? You getting is the government spying on you? Anyway, yeah, I got 6 locks and pros are posted. Uh I got 15 college plays. There's the teams need to win and they're just lining up perfectly. You have several logins. Okay. I only have one. I'm only the Teaser King. Actually, I'm Teaser King, but the guy who set me up here called it the Teaser King instead of just Teaser King. But anyway, did you buy? Oh, you go. Okay, let me know when you send it, and I'll send you the password. And yeah, this is a huge day. I posted the pros. Joe Burrow's not playing. Okay, I'm checking if Aaron Rodgers is playing right now. We'll get more into that tomorrow, but I haven't played the Cincinnati game yet. But if you just watch the line, you know what's going on. The Bengals will play the division rival Baltimore on Thanksgiving, a game Burrow said would be very meaningful to play. And when his 21-day practice window was open on November 10th. So I think he's doing a Cam Rising where he's practicing, but is he ready to be tackled? Like in practice, he's just throwing, but in a game, you got to run and get tackled and all that. And I'm not sure if he's ready for that yet because he's early on his toe. So it's Cam Rising Jr. here. The New York Giants quarterback, Jackson Dart, has been ruled out for the Week 12 game, and that is your free play is Detroit. Interim head coach Mike Caffett cited Dart's lack of progression through concussion protocol as the reason. You know, this is like Tag had the concussion and CJ Stroud with the concussion and now Dart. And it takes like 3-4 weeks or a month to finally clear. It's crazy. Money sent. Okay, I'm going to send Alex the a quick comment on the phone that you'll like. Okay, it's sent, Alex. Some of the lines will be different because I like the free play Air Force. Is it snowing in Colorado? Because I gave you the free pick of Air Force like Tuesday, and the line shot down to 52 and a half instead of the 57 and a half that I played it for initially. But that should be the only one um, with a big change. Yeah, most of the others are right there. Yeah, and you missed the Hawaii loss. Yes, last night I had them over 58, and they didn't score for us. All right. Um, so let's see. Jackson Dart is there. Let's see. Dart's running too much. Keeps getting hit in the head. He's an idiot. That's the problem with running quarterbacks. If they get hurt, it's too key of a position to bring it. Like Dart's not that good, but Winston's terrible. Why they're not going with Russell Wilson, I have no idea. That makes no sense. Aaron Rodgers is listed as questionable for Sunday's game against the Bears as he deals with his fractured left wrist a day after head coach Mike Tomlin. Yeah. Well, that didn't really help us. Is he playing or not? Bucky Irving looks like he'll play for Tampa. The Houston Texans, who cares? They've already played. Josh Jacobs, running back, Green Bay. Well, I'm not getting any new things here. I'm getting questionables. Let's see. Okay. Baltimore, Rashad Bateman out. Keenan Martin out. Cornerback and a wide receiver. Indy, Jalen Carlisle's, a linebacker out. That's it. Now we know Daniel Jones has a calf that I'm sure he'll play. How affected will he be? Kansas City, Pacheco still out with the knee. Xavier Worthy, questionable with an ankle. Seattle, Torrey Horton out with the shin. Tyrese Knight out with a concussion. So they got a linebacker out and a wide receiver who I never heard of, Torrey Horton. Kenneth Walker is questionable with a glute. Okay. Tennessee, a wide receiver I've never heard of is out. Safety out, safety out. Not sure how to play Tennessee. Minnesota, everybody's fine. Green Bay, Nate Hobb, cornerback out. Wide receiver Jaden Reed out. Michigan State, I believe. Quay Walker, number 7, my man from Georgia, doubtful. Ooh. So you got a quarterback out and a linebacker out. Josh Jacobs, questionable. He'll play. Matthew Golden, questionable. He'll play. A lot of Williams, Wicks, the receivers are all questionable, but they'll play. So the only issue is this cornerback, Hobbs, and Quay Walker, my guy from Georgia, and Jaden Reed. Well, they got a lot of receivers, and then the question is, we don't see Micah Parsons. That's what we care about. The Giants, Jackson Dart out, cornerback out, tight end out, Thibodeau out. Okay. No wonder the Lions keep jumping up. Look for them to win. What do I do? I give you a score. This is the NFL free play. Detroit 37, the Giants 10. Detroit, Darian Arnold out, which is probably a good thing. Davenport, the defensive end's been out. A guard out. Kirby Joseph out, a safety. Josh Pascal out, a defensive end. These guys have been out anyway. Taylor Decker, the left tackle, is questionable. He's been questionable the whole year. Just a second. All right. Sorry about that. Uh, all right. So the Lions, golf, the running backs, receivers, those are the key. The tight end is out, which for some reason he's not on the injury list because he's out. It's like Neighbors and Scadaboo are out for the Giants, but they don't list them. So you got to kind of remember that. Penei Sewell, questionable with an ankle. So he's been getting hurt lately. A lot of injuries. Kalani to New England, linebacker out. That's it. So they're very lucky they're not getting a lot of injuries. Stevenson, the running back's questionable with the toe. Cincinnati, Hendrickson is out. Cameron Sample is out. Cam Taylor Britt is out. Safety is doubtful. Perrine is doubtful, and Joe Burrow is out. Who Cincinnati got? New England. So New England should not have any problem moving the ball in this game. Pittsburgh, Highsmith, the linebacker, doubtful. Haywood, ankle is questionable. I thought he was not going to play, but I guess he is. Aaron Rodgers, wrist questionable. We'll find out more tonight. The Bears, Edmonds out, linebacker out, running back out. The other running back I never heard of, not the starter. Noel Sowell is out. Another line. So all three linebackers are out. Offensive lineman questionable. Okay, and the DBs have been out most of the year, are questionable. So that makes the Minnesota, Green Bay, or Chicago Pitt, makes that interesting. With the linebackers out, no, maybe you go over because half your defense is out versus that. But if Aaron Rodgers plays, the Bears are an over team because Caleb likes to run because he can't throw, so he likes to run a lot. Jacksonville, Brian Thomas, the receiver out, tight end out, O-lineman out, defensive end, Travian Walker, I think he's from Georgia, out. Yasser Abdullah, don't know, linebacker out. So they're missing a linebacker, defensive end, their best wide receiver, and who does Jacksonville play? Jacksonville's at Arizona, and they're favored yet. And remember, they still have Trevor Lawrence, who sucks. Arizona, running back out. Marvin Harrison Jr. out. Big deal. Jonah Williams out. Baron Browning Trey Benson out, running back, and safety out. So they got a lot of outs. Two guards are questionable. Two cornerbacks are questionable, and you're already out. Two running backs and a receiver. Good luck with theirs. But this is what happens in pro football now. It's such a long year. It's all the injuries, and then it's how good are the backup. And that's the thing, the huge edge Kansas City has. They don't waste all their money on like Tyreek Hill. They have good backups on defense, and Mahomes doesn't get hurt. So he stays active, not getting hurt. And then it's all these receivers and Kelsey, and then a little bit Pacheco, but they got Hunt. And that's why KC's always there, because they have good defense and they got Spagnuolo. So that's why they're good, and the rest of these guys are idiots. Cleveland, Dylan Gabriel out, Jamari Thrash out, Alex Wright out, and they're going with Prime Junior's quarterback. Oh, my God. What's wrong with Oakland? No injuries. How can they have no injuries? They must not play too hard if they have no injuries. So anyway, you got Prime Jr. I should lock this game. Atlanta, Drake London out. Cornerback out. Defensive end out. Linebacker out. The reason I just say that is because if I told you Zach Harrison was out, nobody would know who the hell it is anyway. So he's the defensive end. Drake London, we know. Penix is out, which they don't tell us. Shame on you guys. So it's going to be hard for Atlanta, and that's why New Orleans is a 2.5-point favorite. At least they were last night. And why the total is going up, I don't know. And they got to have Kirk Cousins in, who can't hit the broadside of a barn. New Orleans, Brandon Cook's out, so that hurts them. Kamara's questionable. Philly, tackle out. and that's it. Dallas, Clowney's questionable. I didn't know Clowney was on the team. Tampa Bay, guard out, cornerback out. Oh, Jamal Dean. I think he's from Georgia. Bucky Irving out and Hassan Reddick out. Godwin is questionable, so we might get Godwin back. We got Abuka, and we got the other receiver. It's not a big deal. The Keys Baker, he'll be playing. The Rams, wide receiver Smith, concussion, questionable. And they don't list Carolina Frisco because they're Monday night. So Joe Burrow is not playing. So now let's take a look at the odds. We'll run through college one more time. It's 11:30. We got till noon. Baltimore, 13.5, 44.5. Kansas City, 3.5. You can probably get a 3 and 50. Seattle, 13 and 40. Tennessee, half the team's out, and it's not very good anyway. It's a big number, total of 40. We'll see what to do on that one. But a lot of Tennessee's players are defensively, so Seattle should have a good game. Green Bay, 6.5, 41.5 to J.J. McCarthy. Jesus Christ. Seriously, you drafted J.J. McCarthy, and now you're saying he sucks. You couldn't see that at Michigan. What did I tell you on the draft video? He sucks. You not only picked him, you picked him in the first round, 8th overall. You insane. Whoever does the drafting for Minnesota should be fired. I mean, there was obvious he sucked. Detroit, 12.5, 50. Okay, keep them under a touchdown, boys. You'll be fine, especially with Thibodeau out now, and you're going with Winston and Detroit off of a loss. Yeah, possibly an over too. The total's 50, but can you count on Winston to score for you? That's the problem. So Detroit should be nasty against the Giants' 27 defense. Cincinnati, New England, 7.5, 50. So the line really didn't move that Burrow's out, which is surprising. That stayed the same. Okay. Pitt and the Bears 2.5, 46. Will Aaron Rodgers play or Rudolph? I don't think it matters. The Bears, all 3 linebackers are out. Now, the question is, how good are the backups? Now, they're NFL pros, so they're probably not terrible. And it's their opportunity. So you got to look at pros different. This is their opportunity to play. They're going to play good. The Lions, their whole secondary's out, but the backups do pretty well. So they know they have that opportunity. Jacksonville, Arizona. Jacksonville, 2.5, 47.5. A lot of injuries we saw in this game. Vegas, Oakland, 436 to Cleveland and Prime Jr. My guess, Cleveland won't score unless it's a defensive or a punt return. Oakland, 4. Here's my score. Oakland, 17-3. Oakland over Cleveland. How about that? Atlanta, New Orleans, 2 and 40. I don't see how New Orleans can possibly be favored, although we know Kirk Cousins is pretty bad. Game of the week, Philly, 3, 47.5 to Dallas. Dallas, good offense, no defense. Philly, not much of an offense and a good defense. Hurts is really bad. And this push tush is ridiculous already. Enough already. This is the only play you can design, Philadelphia, and you're stupid enough to use your quarterback in it, who probably gets crushed in the pile all the time and probably banged up. The other game of the day, the Rams, 6.5, 49.5 to Tampa. Again, Tampa is a live dog. They're 13-1 on the road, 7-1 as a road dog, 24-4, and the Rams are 25-4 in a teaser, 9-1 this year. This is the interesting game here. Just pick, just tease. And the Niners, 7, 49.5 to Carolina. I was watching the Carolina Atlanta game. Carolina moves around. It's not Bryce Young. It's more the running and a little bit of these short passes and stuff like that. See, when they bring in a new quarterback guy, what they do is they set up these short passes, and that's what they do. Um, so with that, anybody can just think and dunk. If you notice, Caleb, a lot of these passes are, to the wide receivers on wide receiver screens. They're not even above the line of scrimmage. And I noticed Arch Manning does the same thing. He doesn't throw the ball down the field. It's all these short little passes, and they make these wide receiver screens and stuff. That shows you how bad it is. All right, Houston, our winner on Thursday, 23-19. Loved it when you hit it's hard to go against a Buffalo or Baltimore. But when you go against it, you better go against it with defense, and that's what I did with Houston. Plus, Houston is now 11-0 this season in a teaser. Teaser trends. Bet against the Jets, 23-4. KC 12-1 is a home favorite. Seattle 12-1 on the road, 9-1 this year. Bet against Tennessee, 24-3. Play against Tennessee at home, 13-0. Green Bay 10-2 is a home favorite, but you got to watch the injuries. Detroit is not really a trend anymore. We can't really use the Giant trend because you got Winston. New England 10-1 this year. Play against Cincinnati 23-4. Play against Arizona this year 9-1. Play against Cleveland as a road dog 11-1, but you can't really do that because now it's Prime Junior, so there's really no trend on him except for Colorado. But after what we saw, he was 4 of 17 last week against Baltimore with a pick. He did make one pass for 20 yards in the last minute when they were playing prevent. Bet against Dallas as a home dog 7-1. And I already gave you Tampa and the Rams. I got nothing on the Niners, Carolina. The key is, though, you've got to, like the Bears. Oh, now we got a new coach. Can we use Caleb's last year? No, probably not. We can use Joe Burrow, but Flacco, who was at Cleveland now. So it's hard to use some of these trends, and that's what you realize is the variables change. You got to be careful with them. All right. So what else? So college, we start looking at they need to win their type, to win the Sun Belt, to win the Big 12, to win the SEC. Now for the playoff, like Notre Dame, we've been talking, they have to win for the playoff, and they get Syracuse with the backup quarterback, maybe even the third string quarterback. So normally you wouldn't touch Notre Dame laying 35 to Syracuse, but in this case, yeah, that's your halftime score. So that's what we're looking for in college. Let's see, gold, we've talked about economics. Basically, what was I talking about? So the key to the economy, everybody's worried about it. This whole devastation and collapse should not happen. It'll happen in the dollar, but the way to prevent it is to come out with dollars with dollars backed by gold. So the market's fine. Say's law is fine. You go to work, you get paid, you spend it. It's just the medium of exchange that's fucked up, not the system. So you just need a better medium of exchange, in this case, dollars backed by gold, not a Bitcoin and not a stable coin, nothing digital. Digital is too manipulated, too controlled, and it's not real. So suppose I sold you a digital steak. How are you going to eat it? Suppose I gave you this digitally. How are you going to drink digital Canadian Club? It's got to be real. As the same with money. This cannot be digital. This has to be real. Everybody's into this. Well, it's quicker. It's digital. It's that. It's that. No, forget it. It's not. The key to it is it's got to be real. You got to have real money. It's got to be real, right? This has got to be. Now you might use your debit and credit card, use it electronically, but at the end of the day, you're paying with this, even though you might be paying the cards electronically. You're going on the site, you're going on Wells Fargo, and you're making a payment, and they're pulling it, but they're pulling it out of your bank account, which has real money in it. Because if your bank account doesn't have money, you can't pay the bill. And that's where we're headed. And when you don't work, you can't pay the bill. So as the dollar collapses, we're into gold and silver because we can pay the bill. Gold and silver will go up. And it'll keep us balanced. So as the prices go up, the gold and silver goes up, and the gold and silver will be able to buy groceries. One thing I do have a pet peeve on is Alligator and McGuire and those guys thinking it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down. And it is a pet peeve of mine. No, the dollar is not going down anymore because it's at zero, and gold is going up because of the demand. Again, if this goes from $50 to $100, are you going to say the dollar went down, or are you going to say the Canadian club went up? Well, if it's based on demand, the Canadian club goes up. The value of this goes up. When you look at a Picasso or my Van Gogh over here, if you look at that, it's a poster. When you look at that, though, why is it worth $1 million? It's demand. That's not the dollar going down. The dollar's going down, making it worth less. So you need more money to buy things is correct. However, getting to the total that you need is the demand. So when we had no demand for gold before BRICS, what was gold? Gold was $1,000. Has gold really changed? No. Why is gold 1,000 now for almost 4,100? Why? What's drawn that? The demand, the BRICS buying. Demand for the gold rose the price. The dollar hasn't really collapsed much more. It was gone in 2008, basically. When they printed and printed and printed, the dollar's gone. So there's really nothing different about the dollar being gone. Let me just check email, make sure Alex got it. Okay. So to say it's the dollar going down, not gold going up, is wrong. It's not a lie. They're just stupid. It's wrong. They don't understand. It is the dollar going. The dollar's gone. It can't be, you can't sit there and say it's lost 99% of its value and now it's going down, causing gold to go up. That is not the reason gold's going up. It is not because the dollar's going down, gold's going up. It's the demand for the gold. In this case, it's the stupid COMEX options. But in the physical world, you'll see the price of gold go to the moon. It is not because the gold isn't going up because the dollar's going down. So it takes more dollars to buy it. It's true, but how do you determine if it's 3,000, 4,000, 5,000? Well, that's because of the demand for the gold. The gold is going up in value. It's sad that like Alligator, now he's trying to call himself an economist. You're not. You're a banker. You're not an economist. There's a whole different world out there. You don't even know what Austrian economics is, so don't tell me that. Mark McGuire, I don't know. Sometimes he's off in the blue. Again, don't watch his show yesterday. This guy was on it. He was terrible. He's trying to tell you to buy gold stocks. The stock market's about to crash. You don't want to be buying stocks. Why? I told Mark McGuire, I said, you should be ashamed of yourself having this talking stocks in the middle of getting out of paper buying gold. Like, are you an idiot? And I think he does it. I'm wondering if the people pay to be on just to promote themselves, because it's the stupidest thing in the world. But it is not the dollar going down making the gold price go up. If there's no demand for gold, the gold price doesn't go up. Gold price is going up because of demand. So let's clear that right now. Just like anything else, the Mantle card, Montana is 110,000. It's not because the dollar went down. It's because the demand for the PSA 10 Montana rookie went up to 110. That's the difference. So it is everything works on demand and supply, meaning if there's high demand and low supply, the value goes up. It has nothing to do with the dollar going down. Yes, it takes more dollars to buy things. We understand that. But okay. So yesterday I'm at the grocery store and I'm not going to buy a 12-pound turkey. I live alone, waiting for my girls to come or go there. And so I went to my meat grocery store, which is more expensive. However, the meat's not more expensive. That's why I go there. Everything else is more. Like tuna fish is more, and salad dressing, the cans is more, but not that meat. So I saw the roasts were on sale. Ah, perfect. I was waiting for that. Even the New York strip was on sale from $20 to $13. Aha. The dollar's down. Why are the steaks on sale? Why is the roast on sale? So I ended up getting a nice 3-pound English cut roast, $10 a pound. It was 12, so I saved a little bit, and I didn't care. It's Thanksgiving, so you bake you bake it in the oven for about 75 minutes, and you can check. I mean, maybe 80. I don't know, about three. I think 310, 315. So right about, I'll put it on about 315. I'll figure 75 minutes. And I cover it with olive oil and my Italian dressing and salt and pepper. My canine cayenne pepper and my Celtic salt. That'll be on it, and I just cook it. And it's about 75 minutes, and then I'll have a 3-pound steak as if I would have 3 pounds of hamburger. And $10 isn't too bad. And that'll be my Thanksgiving meal. And I got sweet potatoes. I got to buy stuffing. I think I want stuffing with it. And I'll have a salad, and we'll see. Anyway, but notice that even though the dollar's down, the steak, there was a $13 New York strip was down. It was on sale. Why? Because they can't sell it at 20. At the end of the day, the market, based on the demand, determines the price. The market is determining the price on gold, not the fact that dollar's going down. So don't tell me it's not gold going up, it's the dollar going down. You're full of shit. It's true to a point, but to derive at $4,100 for the gold is based on demand. If there's no demand, gold's still $1,000, right? And again, you're dealing in COMEX, which is fantasy land. Those are all options and derivatives, not that. So everything's going to collapse when that happens. So you're going to be glad you're in gold and silver. However, if they just come out with a new dollar backed by gold and silver, there won't be a collapse. You'll just switch it out. The Russians are on their 8th ruble. The yuan is multiple yuans. The Zimbabwe was on multiple Zimbabwe's. The key is coming out with gold-backed currency. You need something. Now, to think you can use Bitcoin as money, you're just, it's just naive and stupid. You can't. You cannot use gold-backed. You cannot use Bitcoin or stablecoin or digital money not backed by anything and call it money. First of all, nobody wants it. You can't use it. You can't go to Kroger's with Bitcoin or stablecoin, right? They're not going to take it. They take dollars. The government can mandate it, but how many people have Bitcoin or stablecoin? Nobody wants it. Again, it's something, this has to be the most, what is most wanted has to be, we've chosen this. The market has chosen this. It's got a little 1 on it. It's got this one has a 5 on it in Europe, and that's what it is. And that's that's Greece. That's the Pentathlon or whatever. Parthenon. I was just watching The Amazing Race, and they were in Greece. Anyway, that's what you have. You have it's very simple, but the problem is the people running the government are Keynesians who don't understand gold at all. Why aren't we on gold? Why is BRICS and Russia and China and India all going to gold? And China's got 80,000 tons, and Putin's got 20,000 tons, and India and Brazil and the Saudi kings got gold. Why do they all have gold if it's no good? And then the bigger question is, why don't we have gold? So yes, I'm not buying the dollars going down is why gold's going up. Gold's going up for one reason, demand for gold. Now, because the dollar is collapsing, there's more demand for gold, but we don't know what that price is. It's certainly not 4,000, and it's certainly not because the dollar's going down. That's the reason people are going into gold. That's creating a demand for gold, but not the price. The price is strictly demand. People want it, it's 4,000. People don't want it, it was at what 500, 1,000 for years in the early 2000s. Not until BRICS said, "Hey, we better get out of the dollar and get into gold because we don't want the U.S. dictating what to do and all these tariffs." I mean, look how stupid Trump is. He does tariffs. Okay, first of all, you want free trade. Tariffs are the first thing that's going to kill you. Secondly, they're not even using the dollar anymore. The BRICS, China, Russia, India, they're all using the gold back BRICS currency. They're not even trading in dollars. And when they were trading the yuan with the rupee or the ruble. They were trading though. They weren't even going to the U.S. The U.S. came up with this stupid thing. Well, if you want to buy a different currency, you gotta buy dollars to buy the currency. Who the fuck accepted that? What are you, out of your mind? Would they threaten they're going to kill everybody if you don't use the dollar to buy Indian goods from China? Really? I mean, so it's the end of the U.S. until we go gold back currency. But are they smart enough to go gold back currency? I don't see it. Trump comes across as a gold guy, as a Bitcoin guy. Well, you can't be both. And gold's the answer. But if you lean into stablecoin and Bitcoin, I think his plan is I'm going to pay off the $38 trillion debt with Bitcoin and stablecoin because it's not real. So I can just have digital. I can get Bitcoin and stablecoin, and I can pay off the 38 trillion with that. Well, first of all, it's backed in dollars. And what do we know? The dollar's not worth anything. Well, if the dollar's not worth anything, how the fuck are you going to what are you going to do with it? Right? The dollar's worthless. So the Bitcoin valued in dollars is worthless. So how are you going to take Bitcoin or stablecoin backed in dollars, which are going to be worthless, to pay off the Russians and the Chinese the $38 trillion? These are the bonds. So as people buy the bonds, so it was they thought it was a safe haven. China, Russia, India, London, Germany, they would buy because they thought US dollars were the best. Now they're finding out they're not. So everybody's dumping the treasury saying, give me my, I'm selling you back the treasuries. And give me, I don't know what they pay them in. I mean, so they get out of the treasuries. I think they get the money because they bought the bond, right? So here's 10 grand. I get a bond. But now I'm selling you back the bond. Give me back my 10 grand and I'm going to turn it into gold or whatever. And that's what everybody's starting to do. And that's the end of it. So, however, does that make the gold price go up? No, it's the demand for gold because all the BRICS countries and a lot of Czechoslovakia, Poland, all these countries realizing the dollar is worthless, but the tariffs won't work. They never would work. It's the stupidest thing you could do. It's free trade. It's just like Vegas now. Well, it sounds like the same story. Vegas will raise the prices to pay rent because we're in debt. So Apollo bought Caesars and then said, okay, we're going to buy you. You owe us $100 million a month in rent or whatever the number was. And then as COVID hit, it screwed it up. And then Caesars now, instead of lowering their price to get more people in to try to make the money that way, they're raising the prices to try to get the money to pay the rent, which they won't do because you force everybody to go somewhere else. So everybody's leaving you. Then what's the point of it? You're not going to be able to pay your rent. You're going to default. Apollo will go out. Blackstone will go out. BlackRock will go out because they're idiots. They need to lower the rent, but they won't. But they're not going to collect it because they don't have it. They're all bankrupt. And that's the key to it, right? So as you have that, you don't have anything else. So that sounds like what Trump's doing. Well, we'll make Bitcoin, we'll make it $1 million. Well, you can't if the market doesn't do it. You can't just price fix it government and say, oh, it's not worth $1 million. Well, we're going to revalue it at $1 million. You can't do that. Oh, we're going to revalue gold at 20,000. Well, you can't do that. The market has to determine what the price is. You cannot fake the price and just price it at that. Again, it's up to the market. Will they accept it or not? Now, a higher gold price, the market will accept because who's holding the gold, the bricks, and us. So we'll accept a higher. We'll be happy with $20,000 gold price, $5,000 silver price. Yeah, count me in. If that's the real value, if my guy at the store will take that, so you're gonna give me $20,000 for my gold. Anyway, then you have, but the Bitcoin to be revalued in dollars won't be worth anything. And so really neither will the gold. He can make it 20,000, but you get the dollars, they're not worth much. That's what you got to realize. Just like in Germany with the wheelbarrow. Why did you use a wheelbarrow? Because the dollars weren't worth anything, or the Deutschmarks. So you need all the wheelbarrow. You needed 10 million Deutschmarks to buy a loaf of bread. Means it probably isn't worth anything. They went from Reichsmarks to Deutschmarks. So another German. So they switched, and then that helped them for a little bit. And then when Hitler came in, they were bankrupt because he's trying to build tanks and planes and stuff. And so they just created fake money. They just took something and said, this is okay. This is $100, whatever. You'll get reimbursed after the war. But that's the problem when you live with a dictator. He tells you what to do, and you do it or die. So, or go to the concentration camps. And that's the problem with dictators. And the problem is they get too much power. So that's where the Romans came in with the Senate and the whatever you called Caesar, and it was supposed to split the power. And they were supposed to have two presidents, a president each month. That way it would do that. Although it'd be hard to implement projects because I want to do this. He doesn't want to do this. So he's going to change it. And then I come back and I don't like his. So is really you got to have competition and free market to have a government. Otherwise, you're fine. It'll never work. Anyway, that's what's going on. We got almost 12 o'clock. I am going to eat for the first time in now 90 hours. Yes, 90 hours. And I'm still saying the walls aren't moving. Again, when you do this type of fast, you drink a lot of water. I got cinnamon and lemon in it, and then a lot of coffee. And you can see my little that's a cinnamon. No, that's a ginger. I get the thing of ginger. I cut it. I shave it. So I get my ginger that way. It was cheaper than throwing the powder in. Plus, I know it's safer because it's real. My cinnamon, my lemon, and that's what and coffee. I put half and half in, nothing, but no sweets. I don't have honey in here or sugar substitute. And it's just your body basically is eating your fat because it's hungry, and it looks for energy, and that's what fat is stored food, and it takes it and it says, okay, time to eat. And you eat. Now I'm going to have my avocado, and I have my pita bread, and I've got a bunch of chicken that I made, and that'll be my lunch, maybe an omelet. I don't know if I'll have a little bit of chicken, or I'll put the chicken in the omelet. But it's very refreshing doing the fast. It's very I don't feel any in danger of my health. Nothing feels wrong. It all feels good. I'm a little lightheaded, but if I do, I drink the water, and that's fine. No, I made my picks on Wednesday when I was still sane, so now it's hard. But it's very invigorating, especially just before Thanksgiving. Now I can have a pumpkin pie and my roast and not worry about it. But the key with the pumpkin pie is eat it on Thursday and don't eat it Friday, Saturday. Maybe eat some more on Sunday or something. But you can't eat it every day. It's got to be a once or twice a week thing. The pumpkin pie or the ice cream. Try to stay away from the pop and the liquor, cigarettes. See, I look young because I have never smoked and I don't drink, and those are all poisons. So you're putting poison in your body. That's why you age and look bad. But if you keep thin, you see these older people that are fat, and they said, I'm going to eat candy. I'm old, and they get sick and they die because you're still doing bad things to your body. So I know, yeah, and you can have a drink once in a while. I know, New Year's or Christmas or whatever. Have a drink; it's fine. I'm not saying that you just don't have one every. You don't do things like that every day. If you smoke every day, you're in trouble. If you smoke, but smoking you can't do once a week, so you shouldn't do it. But that's the thing. So with if I do get pumpkin pie for Thanksgiving, which it's have one piece and that's fine. Have it, enjoy it, and move on, and go back to your celery and cauliflower. And your omelets are good. One thing I heard is not to have like bacon and eggs, which I didn't know that before. If it's processed bacon, if it's regular bacon, I guess it's not processed, then it's fine. But it's probably all processed. But I didn't know that because the eggs are so rich and the yolks, because you're eating the yolks. So just watch that. Just be careful with bacon and eggs. I guess have bacon separate. So if you want bacon, have it, or a bacon sandwich. But if you're eating your omelets, you got a lot of whatever's in there, and be careful eating it. Now, once in a while, and it's just if you're sick. So if you're healthy, you could probably have it. Oh, potential spam. Yeah, I should get this. I'm getting sick. Nine in the morning, I get a potential spam. I'm like, fuck you. I'm fasting today. Leave me alone. All right. So that's about it. So we got games starting now. Go enjoy. Again, buy your gold and silver because you have to, because the dollar's gone. Bitcoin and stablecoin cannot replace it because it's not backed by anything. So if the dollar is worthless, so are the Bitcoin and the stablecoin. So are the stocks and the bonds. So is your house. Until we get a strong dollar backed by gold or silver, it's worthless, as is everything else, except the gold and the silver. So that'll keep you fine. I assume a Kroger's or Target will take gold and silver, or price. They got to price it in silver. So let's say silver is $100 an ounce, and you go in for food at Kroger's. You buy, I don't know how much it'll cost, $50 for food. See, they're in a catch-22. They will take the gold and silver because they got to stay in business. But it's a catch-22 what to price it at. Because if you price, like I said, the $20 steak, the New York was on sale for 13. Well, that's using this. Well, what do you price it at in gold and silver? But can you keep pricing it in dollars if the dollar has no value? Then it becomes $100 steak, which nobody will buy. And to keep in mind, they still have to make profit. The grocery store still has to find the price that the people will buy it at. So you can't just make it $100. If there's price fixing going on, we're all fucked, because they'll price it cheap and then nobody can make it at that price. So nobody will produce it, and therefore there won't be anything on the shelves, which is what happens in a lot of countries, Venezuela, Zimbabwe, Germany. They do price fixing, so nobody is going to make it. The butcher's not going to sell the steak because he can only get $10 for it, but it costs him 20. And if it costs him 20, he's not going to sell it. So you're fucked. All right. Anyway, six locks. Three locks, six teams going today. You can play a nice 6-team teaser. With Air Force under and the Iowa, you can make it an 18 teaser. I know some of you like that. And you go from there. And the pros, all right, we know Burrow's out. We don't know about Aaron Rodgers. We should know today. And that's it. We got Prime, Kirk Cousins. What quarterbacks do we have here? We got a bunch of minor league quarterbacks. So be careful who you're betting on. You don't want to bet on minor league quarterback. You want to bet on Mahomes. You want to bet on Burrow. You bet on Allen. You lost to Mills. Amazing. Tyrod Taylor going for the Jets. Um, Jones and Mahomes for Indy KC. Darnold and Ward. JJ McCarthy and Love. What a joke that is. Winston and Golf. Winston, what a joke. How do you play Winston? Oh my God. I wouldn't be surprised if Dart doesn't play the rest of the year with his concussion, because it'll go like, well, why play him? We don't want him getting concussed anymore. He's our superstar, even though he's not. Drake May goes against Flacco, New England Cincy. We're not sure Rudolph or Rogers against Caleb, Lawrence and Brissett, Prime Jr. against Geno Smith, Kirk Cousins against Shaw, Hurts against Dak, the Baker against Stafford, Young against Purdy. So it's kind of easy. Baker against Stafford. Oh, yeah, both teams are really good. Or Mahomes against Jones. Well, Jones isn't that good. But then you get to, Lawrence and Brissett, Prime and Smith, Cousins and Shaw, and you see why these teams suck. It's not necessarily that you need to go. You can be like Houston and win with CJ Stroud or Mills when you have a killer defense. If I was on a team, GM or coach, I would build defense. Like I heard about the Lions questioning, well, what should I do with the Lions? You know, they're bitching at the GM, their offensive line stinks, the defensive line, you didn't get this and that. And the biggest problem is he's paying for his offense, not his defense. So on defense, they're in trouble. They're always injured. Hutchinson with the broken leg is not playing well. And then you got offensively, he overpaid Golf. He's going to pay the running back. He paid 2 receivers and a right tackle. What are you doing? That's not who that you'll have a good offense until Golf gets hurt or one of these guys. You've lost your tight end, but your defense sucks. And we've seen that with the Miami Dolphins with Marino and Fouts, San Diego. If you don't have a good defense, it's stupid. So you should be paying your defense. They should have got Hendrickson, or they could have got Micah Parsons, obviously. Green Bay got him. And then to go with Hutchinson and then to get some linebackers and defensive end, then you'd have a good defense. But you don't have that. Detroit's got a 22 defense. Houston a 16. KC an 18. Seattle a 19. Green Bay a 20 with Micah Parsons. New England a 19. So you can see why New England's that good. The Rams with the 17. New England's good not because of Drake May, because they got a 19 defense and they run the ball a lot and a little bit of Drake May. He gets way too much credit. All right, I'm going to eat. I'm starving. Good luck today. Enjoy your 3 locks and your free plays and free play tomorrow. The Lions, we got Air Force under today. And the other free play is Iowa over Michigan State. All right. Have a good day, everybody. I will talk to you later. Enjoy. See you tomorrow, 11 o'clock.